Hi guys, this is Sidney. So right now I'm on camera to share something, do something, or try something new with you guys. This could be for certain females or males who enjoy makeup. Nowadays, like, we don't really discriminate gender for makeup, right? For grooming. So whoever that you enjoy, that you resonate, I just felt called to share a certain message for light workers, and at the same time introduce what I do with makeup. That I try my best to not have certain chemicals. So just introduce you to that and share some of the information and tips. So I was actually just putting this on, and I am right now, by the way, in Manila, Philippines. Actually, yesterday I opened up the portal and then I walked in and I came to Manila. Just kidding. I time traveled or space travel. I wish I could. Because the logistics, organizing and all that is takes a lot of energy. But yes, I took the flight. I had to go through immigration and wait for baggage claim and all of that. And I've been receiving this information for about like 2.5 months, maybe more, that my next place would be Philippines. I didn't know where, but Philippines. And then I got more clarity about like a month or 3 weeks ago. So I came to Manila. And so here I am. And like, we are having the solar eclipse right now, and it's been a really, really, really intense energy. It's been called to really go in and really embody and embrace our inner truth with that Aries energies, and be unapologetically you. That is related to the ideas of other people's or external validations or approvals, confirmations, permission that we were being used to living in, right? Because it's all part of us going into or finding our sovereignty within. That's necessary in a decentralized world. So we are getting ready for that, ready for the age of Aquarius energy. So this entire like last 2 weeks has been pretty intense, since the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse together this month. And tomorrow on the 30th of March will be another 3/3 portal. So a lot of the heart opening portals. And with that, the message that I received for light workers that I was feeling called to also share, when I was recording the last YouTube public video, but then the energy was really intense and I had to like organize a lot of stuff, pack everything at the same time, and I was really like a little bit burned out, I would say, really like low in energy. But they really had me still like record the message, so that's what I did on the 27th. And it was uploaded on 28th, and now it's 29th, and all these like time, the energy is really intense. And that's when I also received, perhaps I was feeling really called to share a separate message for light workers, but I had no energy. Especially in the last public video towards the end, after the transmission, just my energy was like really, really low. I just needed to like recharge a little bit. And last night I got here, and right now, like, I'm in Manila. Since I got here, I just like to settle everything the first thing I get here. So I just had to clean up the entire house, which what I do, and sage or this, like, because that's what I usually do whenever I go to a new place. I clean up the space, I do energy, bring the energy to clear up the space. And when you look at the sofa here, do you recognize this? This is my scarf. So when the sofa is, I don't feel the energy is clean, I, you know, clean up the energy, and then I use this as the cover. So anyways, I wasn't thinking of recording a video, and then as soon as I put a dot here and then dot here and then just smudging, okay, like, I had this urge, I want to record it and then share this, my makeup, the process of me getting ready, get ready with me. I'm still a little bit like not fully on my energy, but after I had some food, I got some mango last night at the supermarket, and it just tasted so much better. So I remember, like, here I will eat mangoes, a lot of mangoes. Feeling a little bit better. So okay, first I will share the message for Lightworkers. So Lightworkers, right now at this time, especially with the Aries season kicking in, there will be a lot of chaotic energy, especially like so-called drama energy coming from the external world through people, situations. You go walk down the street and then kids scream, crying, or someone getting angry and being frustrated and expressing that out, like, outwardly, or someone trying to push you to the corner for their confirmation. It's like confiscation. Is that the right word? Is what is coming? It's like confiscate. Because as I was going through all this immigrations, especially, you know, in the immigrations office or at the airport, you will notice a lot of these people playing out authority games. Not all of them, but some. Some are really, really friendly and helpful and really kind. Some are very, very playing that authoritarian authority game, because they harbor a lot of inner wounds that they haven't looked into. And so they continue to play out in that position. Perhaps they have their soul purpose why they're doing that in that position. So a lot of these things could try to distract you out of staying in that inner peaceful, harmonious, joyful state that you embody a certain vibration and frequency. This is just a reminder from Source and Gaia that I received to continue to embody your peace, not entertain drama or the chaos around, whether it's coming from strangers or people you know already, or situations that you see. Because especially in the Aries season, a lot of people may express their frustration more loudly, anger more loudly, impatience more loudly than ever, because that's the unbalanced aspect of the Aries energies. And they want it fast, and they want me first. And so, for example, you're waiting for an elevator, or you're in the car and a taxi. The taxi driver may get really frustrated because of traffic. and then yell at people outside, scream at, like honking or something like that. That energy, when it happens, whenever I feel it, like it's very sharp. All these like lower vibrational energies is like a sharp knife. It all comes to the heart. So what I'm guided to share by Source and Gaia is to continue to not feed your attention to those energies. And it's also to trigger you and lower your vibration to fear. So for example, you're at this like immigration, or you're waiting for your package or something, and certain authorities or these institutions give you a message, or they hold you because they're like checking, confirming, but the process of that would be very in an aggressive, authoritative manner. That is to sort of like to give you in for the fear reactive response. So that energy could be playing out because a lot of people are also holding a lot of that energy, and then because of this solar eclipse and Aries season energy kicking in, it's going to activate even more so. And in the collective, you will see a lot of news, the disaster, natural disasters that I shared in the public video, the fires and the winds and volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and so on and so forth. So I believe, I can't remember exactly, on the 24th or 25th, around the time, 22nd to 25th, around between those days, in Osaka, I was outside and there was like extremely strong wind, like extremely, like as if everything's just sweeping off everything. So I sensed the energy shakeup that was happening in Osaka, and that was part of the what's happening celestially. So it's happening all around the world, especially in a place that's very dense and with this energy and alignment that needs a little bit of shakeup. So when that happens, it's usually Gaia. It's like, I don't feel comfortable. So they're stretching or like doing this and like knuckles and, you know, just moving around, and you feel a crack in your bone, like at the back or something. Like that's how it's being expressed on a physical level for humanity or for humans when Gaia does that. It's like shaking up that old energy or dense or tense energy is what I'm guided to share. So that is going to take place further on down the future in 2025. So once you have this awareness or this information, when you see or hear that, it's not going to put you in fear because you understand the bigger picture of, you understand the higher purpose of why that is happening, and it's meant to happen that way. And all this news will like have this fear and anxiety, sharing all this, the number of deaths or number of this and disaster, this disaster that. Do not feed into it, because once you know, if you're meant to go, you will go. If you're meant to continue on earth, you will. So that's also part of surrendering, and when you have that understanding, it's going to help you free yourself from so much fear. So for example, I'm guided to share that, you know, during COVID, I was in a lot of fear as well. And the news was like creating more fear and anxiety, and family members talking about it, people talking about it, the energy. And what I received was, excuse me. What I received was, it's just what's meant to happen. And I think around that time, I can't remember exactly which year, but perhaps was it before 2020 or around 2020 or something like that? There was this fire that took place in the cathedral in Paris, like the old cathedral, like really famous cathedral. And then thunder or something like it got caught fire, the roof, and then everything just burned. But then there were like statues or something that were intact from the fire, even though the fire was happening. So the whole roof or the top got burned down, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, you know what's going on?" And because it's supposed to be like really holy and famous tourist spot. And now it's gone. You know, people are panicking and freaking out, and the news are making so much chaos and all of that hype about it as well, in a very negative sense. And when I saw the news, I had this sense it's meant to happen. And when I heard especially the statues of like certain things were intact, so I remember telling my family members, like, that was what was supposed to happen. It's to transmute the old energy and to clear up the old energy, but they didn't really get it. So when a person is not ready to receive certain information, even though you share them, it's not going to be very helpful in the moment, but down the line, as they wake up in divine timing, or if they choose to, they will start to resonate and start to remember that. So that's where the planting seeds come in. But also at the same time, as light workers, you're not supposed to overly help each other, not help each other, but like jump in to save someone, or that idea of being the savior. It's like on a flight, they always say, put your life vest first so you can help other people. So that's just what's coming up as like a symbolic or analogy for me to share. So you have to love yourself first in order to love someone in a healthy way, or in an unconditional loving way, right? If you have to take care of yourself well, so that it is a reflection of the inner and the outer, within, without. So that's the energy right now. So make sure that you are nurturing your inner peace. Continue to do so. Nurturing your inner harmony, inner joy makes you feel joyful. Still, like, there's a lot of chaos because we are not completely split yet. In terms of the old earth, new earth, so-called, however you resonate with those terms. So that's what I'm going to share. It's going to be very shaky, but hold on tight to yourself, to your love, so that you can hold energy for other people who are playing out these lower vibrations eventually. So you don't have to go and like fix everything for everyone. But that's how you are helping everyone, is what I'm guided to share, perhaps to remind you of at this time, because a lot of light workers, earth angels, have such strong, pure, kind-heartedness. They always want to help other people with pure intentions. It's not to receive anything, but you know, a lot of us, or including myself, we had to learn the lesson, right? On earth, everything is not very like kind and unconditional. So they see that as a weakness. And what came also was that is coming up for me to share is like especially when you go to all the Southeast Asian countries right here, there's less programming, but still like programming is going on pretty heavily, very quickly, with a lot of ideas of commercialism and, you know, the financial like aspect of it that is like starting to root down and program people, so they start to change. And I've been noticing this is very interesting. Perhaps I may feel guided to share what I observed and experienced and noticed and witnessed, like in Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, especially, and in Manila here as well, in big cities. And so what came was, relatively all these countries and cultures are less exposed to all this concept of money and all this material focused way of thinking and living, but it's catching up really quickly, especially in Indonesia. It was very heavy. When you look at all these Western, so-called European countries, what came was like in the 1600s or something. That's when, I believe, I'm not sure about the the exact date, but in Netherlands they had the first stock exchange or something. So the energy is very heavy in Europe, and they have this metal energy, which I shared about this, like Asian fortune teller reading, like different 5 natural elements like earth, water, metal. So Europe has, especially like France, Germany, like all that area, Netherlands, Switzerland, they hold a lot of metal energy, and that represents finance, that represents like jewelry, and that's where it's very heavily developed, like in France or Paris, all these luxury brands and jewelry brands and watch brands in Switzerland. It's very interesting, but I'm just, for some reason, I'm feeling called to share. So what I got as information was the Aztec has been coming through very strongly, especially the last month. And what happened was, these Europeans who first discovered like South America, and how they described was, when they first went, everybody was very open, inviting, very kind, giving. That was the culture, that was the energy. And all of a sudden, these Europeans who are used to all this material based, lack chasing, scarcity, stock exchange, all that idea that was already heavily planted in the continent of Europe and in people's mind, went to Aztec, and then they're like deceiving those people very easily, and then getting the gold, and because in a lot of these cultures, the ancestors always share the information, that you will also see this still in a lot of different cultures. When a visitor comes, stranger comes to your house, it's a blessing. So you're to feed them well and treat them well with the best respect. And especially like in Mongolian culture, and in Korea as well, when a stranger, like a passersby stops at your place, you're like giving them food or giving them shelter when they need. So that's like the basic mannerism, or this dominating common culture, and they took advantage of that. So that's how it all began. This mindset, when someone is very kind and giving, it's being seen as somewhat of a weakness, something that you can take advantage of. So that's in the age of darkness experimentation, because that was what was supposed to happen. and Gaia needed to go through that. So right now we are reversing, going back to the time of the Aztec, or that golden culture is what I'm going to share. And in the Aztec, from what I received as information, this information came to me in early 2024, perhaps started to come at the end of 2023, and it was about this. And now as I'm sharing, this is coming, and that's why they want me to be on camera right now. That they the energy of the sun was very important. And when you go to Mexico, they had me see this travel show where they were traveling in this river. I don't know if it's like there, and then it was famous spot that they could see the biggest sunrise. Like the sun was huge, and the energy of the sun, even through the screen, was so different, so intense. So they worshiped sun, they collected gold from what I received as information. So we are going back to the timeline. We are retrieving those wisdom and information and energy, coming back, bringing that energy back to Gaia is what I'm guided to share for Lightworkers. So as I'm sharing this, I see this huge sun surrounding me, behind me, like really huge, like almost like a portal energy right now. And I'm feeling called to give you some quick transmission to embody that sun energy. And also what I'm going to share is to, if you have a chance to go out in the sun and just walk and allow your third eye to communicate with the energy of the sun, or the portal grand central sun energy at this time, to embody certain codes is what I'm going to share, and to help you clear up your auric field, or embody what is coming, is embody those golden light codes from the grand central sun to be completely settled in your auric field. So you radiate that golden light that's going to be your aura from this moment onwards, is what I'm going to share. So these light codes are coming through right now. So how you can receive this is you can simply allow yourself to receive, as you say, I intend to receive, in gratitude and openness. And you can just focus on this hand movements, and even though you may not feel anything, you may feel something, you may not, it's okay. It's all about your intention and your receptivity. So if you're in that place, you're receiving these codes through my heart portal to yours. Okay. Huatakai yatakua fua wa wa. Hua wa hi ataka u ataka u ataka u ataka hikiki aka u atakiki ataka u ataka ia hu atakiki aka ka u wa 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 hu ataka i ataka u ataka ia 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 hu. This golden light pouring through my heart portal. Behind me is a huge giant grand central sun energy coming through. So actually something interesting came to me, like right after I finished recording my YouTube public video. I mentioned that Archangel Michael came through, and I was feeling called to share some sort of guided meditation on Patreon. It ended up being like a transmission, frequency transmission, which was the first time that came through. And what came was Archangel Michael was behind me, and then through my heart portal, he was transmitting these codes and frequencies. And what came was, it came with my throat singing, the Mongolian throat singing. So it's not light language, but I'm sending out frequencies. And as I was doing so, what came to my psychic mind was 143 hertz for some reason. So so pretty similar to that, but it's like this huge sun energy is pouring even now as I speak. So if you're connected to and resonating with this video and the message here, you may be receiving all these frequencies and codes on a subconscious level without you realizing, is what I'm going to share. So that is what is taking place. We are connecting with heavily with the Aztec. Next is the South America, the heart chakra. A lot of that energy that they have me connect with for the past year and a half very heavily through a lot of these travel videos, especially at one time last year. A lot of these energies from Mexico was coming through, Peru, Mexico, like Brazil, for some reason. So those areas is now where the Gaia is working on, is what I'm going to share. So just have this, be aware that we are working heavily to open up this area for the collective, and everyone on earth as a result of that will be shed with all this light, that some who are ready will download and embody this more. Some who's still in the shadow will be triggered by this light, okay? And also with people who hold certain light. And now that we have worked very hard in the year 2024 leading up to this point of solar eclipse, what I'm going to share is a lot of the light workers, earth angels, divine feminine rising, however you resonate, you hold a certain frequency now, and that those people are going to feel more stabilized in expressing who they really are and their inner truth unapologetically. And that was the purpose behind this energy, helping prepare the new leadership. And that when they step onto it and speak their truth with such confidence, and they share their gifts and who they are, what they have with as talents and gifts, and this will trigger a lot of shadow in a lot of different people, because that's the natural state. We're supposed to live in the golden age, but right now a lot of people being conditioned to seek validation, once again confirmation, asking constantly for permission, playing with authorship is what is coming. It will trigger them because they, on a subconscious level, they're constantly feeling small or feeling superior, feeling inferior, feeling superior, that power struggle. And when one holds that, when they hear someone speak their truth, or something of their truth, they may project, because it's also triggering them on a subconscious level that they are less than those people. But because the ego is playing out, they have this pride in them, right? And they don't want to admit that they're playing this inferior superior inside them, the comparison game within themselves. That's self-judgment, right? Self-comparison. That's based on that belief in lack. So it's all playing out in the month of April, is what I'm going to share. So hold steady. People are going to be triggered, perhaps reactive, or try to get you reactive about certain things. But you already stabilize a lot of your energies. Just continue to live in that new earth frequency energy that you have embodied for a very long time. Since birth in this lifetime is what I'm going to share. You've been continuously been building yourself, working yourself to come to this point. Okay, so that's the message, especially for light workers, anyone resonating, but especially if you know you're light workers or a light worker, that you will this is for you. And continue to stay strong. What came was stay distance. When I was at the airport just landing yesterday, keep the distance, stay distance. Meaning a lot of these people from the past, once again, sensing the energy, someone's rising, and then they will start to want to reconnect or come back. But their energy is not ready. It's not that they're like worse than you or you are better. I'm not promoting that concept or idea. That's also very prevalent in a lot of these readings, so-called, in spiritual community, that they are this and you are this. But actually, I do not feel very comfortable with that energy, as it's not in alignment with Gaia's energy or the new earth energy. But just from a neutral standpoint, it's just that they haven't done the work, so they're not going to resonate. They're not going to be able to be receptive, or they're not going to even be teachable in a sense, because when you share something, when someone is receptive, it's like when a student is ready, teacher appears. But when they're not ready, it's going to be useless, is what is coming up. Because first of all, they cannot recognize what it is. Their heart is not open. It's just that they're still playing out that they want validation from you. They want that higher light energy, whether it's energy of peace, energy of love, whatever that is, energy of harmony. They just want to be in that presence because it makes them feel in a certain way. So there's a lot of the user mentality energy attached to it, not in a sense that they're like worse or that you are better once again, but it's just understand how that how the energy works, so that you're not meant to communicate. You're not meant to enmesh your energy with those lower vibrations anymore. Because it's not on an equal level, meaning it's not reciprocated. It's not going to be reciprocated. So what's going to end up happening in an energetic perspective, from a neutral perspective, is that it's going to create an imbalance whenever you exchange energy with those people or situations, you see? So what that means is it's going to deplete the energy, not add the energy. You see what I mean? So that's where the Gaia and Source is coming for me to share, that we don't want that imbalance in an individual. The more we have people holding that inner balance energy, inner alignment energy, it's helping Gaia and also helping other people, even though they may not see that as help at this time or support. So people who understand what I'm saying will be for this message, and you're in such place, is also what I'm going to share, that when the imbalance is there, you're not able to help Gaia. That's what you came here to do. So that's why they say, you know, to kind of continue to stay strong with your boundaries and discern. That your empathy, your love is to be shared with people who are going to be reciprocated. And you have the inner strength and power within, that sometimes very gentle, kind, sometimes very assertive, fierce, but you embody both of those balanced aspect of the masculine and the feminine within. So that is what is coming for me to share at this time. So that just remind yourself it's not coming from a place of superior, inferior, that you are superior, they are inferior. Once again, this energy also needs to be cleared out in the spiritual community as well when they share something. We have to go more from a neutral standpoint by having a higher understanding of what is taking place. But at the same time, you understand that you need to distance yourself. You need to no longer engage, not from that place of anger or hatred or judgment or that comparison or the ego energy that you are superior than them, but from a perspective of higher understanding of what is taking place right now. You see? You can still send them, wish them, intend that they heal and they free themselves, but you're not, that's it. And you're just going to walk away and choose what makes you feel joyful, engage with people, conversations and situations. You know that you resonate, that they are reciprocating on a sincere level, because energy never really lies. So that is what I'm being called to and guided to share. Now I understand why they wanted me to record this video. And also, in part of sharing my joy, I'm going to continue on with the makeup. So I try to look for all this makeup brands that have like certain chemicals that are very toxic free and so-called like vegan, but you know, it's kind of a marketing term nowadays, right? And then I found this like 2 local brands, Japanese local brands, while I was in Osaka. So this is like a shimmering eyeshadow, and this is like a, you can do the cheeks and eyes and wherever you want to put in. And for a while I haven't really used like these like makeup, so-called makeup stuff. I just simply used this lip balm that I got in Korea. It's like natural organic moisture lip balm that has color. So this is like carrot, one is beetroot, the other one is like this flower from this Jeju island in Korea. And so they created certain colors. So I used that for the cheek, eyes, and the lips. I no longer wear any lipsticks that much, or at all, actually. And so I stopped using all this foundation that I shared in the previous video. I used to wear a lot of makeup. I loved putting on makeups, just doing different things. Back in the days, YouTube wasn't, you know, I didn't grow up with YouTube. So it's like I would remove certain makeup and just try different things, like sitting in front of a mirror, right? And imagine the chemicals that I absorbed through all those times, and all the nail polish that I smell, that I put on and erase and playing around. Imagine all those toxins. So I'm giving myself a lot of room to continue to detox and get into like a healthier cycle in my body, right? So this one, for some reason, I've been enjoying, and I really enjoy like playing around different colors and makeups, and I found these 2 that I really liked. So there's no foundation here, nothing. And something is that all of my life pretty much I had like pimples, I had like acne, I suffer with that. And ever since I cleaned up my diet, since the end of 2021, it started to be gone, like nothing here. And whenever I had them pop up is whenever I'm choosing to go back to certain ways or being nostalgic about having certain foods, which was very much happening occasionally throughout the year 2022, 2023, some 2024. But slowly, as your pattern shifts, as your body is used to or receiving information about new information from different sorts of elements coming into your body, they record all the information, right? It's getting less and less and less. So whenever, you know, I used to indulge occasionally like the soy milk, soy latte, or like this almond milk latte, I just crave like these things at a certain point, and I just allow myself to do that, or certain foods. But every time that happened, I would continue to eat that more. So like that was like a trigger. Once I have it, it was making me to go for that, even though I wasn't really craving it, which was very interesting, that I would like to share further for people who may go through this journey, because your body is just on an automatic remembrance. And so whenever I had that, I used to get something start to come up here on the chin, which represents like the hormonal imbalance. So all these parts, and the certain parts, when you have something come up, it is connected to different organs in like all this Chinese medicine and meridian system, right? So that's like an indication or the communicator. So whenever you experience that, you want to take notice of it, because your body is trying to communicate. It's like, I need rebalance. So like when I was in Osaka, all of a sudden I wanted to get a latte so badly, like, or coffee. And the coffee tasted really different, like the black coffee or Americano, so called. It was a lot milder, and when I drank it, I didn't feel like this coarse energy vibration that I used to have when I was in like having coffee in Malaysia or Thailand. Perhaps the water is different. And I used to wonder, like in all the Southeast Asian countries, they have so many tropical fruits and a lot of healthy stuff, but why do people get sick, and you know, like they have a lot of issues with pimples and acne? It's because they consume a lot of chemicals. For example, like Milo's is from Nestle. Has a lot of sugar and a lot of these other chemical stuff inside, and kids grow up with that, and it's become one of the popular tourist gifts products, the Milo in Malaysia especially, and a lot of foods in Thailand. They use food dye, and they do all this like MSGs and flavor enhancers that's chemical based, and they have no concept. They don't really have that much concept. So that's why it tastes like really like strong and good and salty and sweet and savory. At the same time, there is another side with organic products and vegan products. But now, like what I noticed in Thailand was everything was labeled organic, and it has no meaning anymore, because whenever I ask what the ingredients are, where it's from, the people don't know. The salespeople who are there, or they don't label, or they don't show what the ingredients are, because Thailand is known for a lot of these like natural products, and they always say 100% natural. But there's no more information. They say organic, they say vegan whenever I ask them. There are chemicals, and some people say, more like they're trying to sell you, or some people will be honest. Actually, no, it has something. Then I do not get it, but that happened a lot in Thailand, especially. So today, I'm feeling cold. This like a berry color here. So how I like to put it is, I like to put on, everybody has different facial features, cheekbones, facial shape. So it may be different for everyone. If you have really like red skin, or it may not be for you. So you can choose. Everybody has different skin tones, and based on that, there are certain colors that are very complementary. So you want to find that out. So I think my skin looks a lot better on the screen than in real life, because without this light, you will see all these freckles. And I didn't wear much on my face, especially throughout the year 2022, and I was just connecting with the sun a lot in Egypt and Greece, Thailand, looking directly into the sun, closing my eyes, sunbathing, and then all this like black dots or the freckles were really like getting strong, especially right here. It's like here, it's not gone. And then it wasn't about putting on the sunscreen, but it was about whenever I cleaned up my diet or I was eating more clean, it was getting better. Like I didn't need to do any laser or do treatments or do like facial masks. So it's something that I'm feeling called to share. But whenever I kind of engaged or went back to certain foods or diets, once I eat, it's so good. Like your brain is almost like programming that immediately and triggering that memory from the past. And then even though you're not craving it, you want to go for it. You want to go for it. It's very interesting. So I had that experience craving those things, eating, and something starts to come up, pop up. I have to like zap it out, all these marks. But then as you do inner cleaner diet, it starts to like heal and go away. So in real life, when I just look at my face on the screen, on the mirror, in front of the mirror, I think I have darker skin than how it appears on the screen here, with the light and all this nice filtering of the colors and the skin tones, creating more like effects, which is another perspective, right? Everything is just a point of perspective. It's like the camera, selfie camera here, the angle, the lens is different from the other one back there. So selfie camera looks a lot better usually than the other one, right? Because it has a different lens, the distortion. So that's how this world is. Everything is virtual. It's a virtual reality. And if you don't see yourself as pretty inside, whenever you see yourself in the mirror, even though other people think that you're beautiful or good looking, or they have this, they're models, but they share the stories, they don't think they're beautiful, they don't think they're handsome or something like that, right? Whereas someone could be like in a different place, vice versa. So that's something. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's the inner and the outer. So I'm enjoying this. So how I like to do is, when you are like running after exercise, when you have a lot of heat inside your body, or like you're from the sauna, you will naturally have this red mark, or this like the blush effect on your cheek. That's the area that I like to go for, and that you perhaps may want to go for. And if you put it like on the cheekbone, like to the side, it kind of has that distorted or effect, right? That it creates a lifting effect, right? It's shaping. So makeup is also part of that, playing with perspective, playing with distortion game in a way, you see? That's how this reality works, and that's the fun part that we are enjoying as humans, tasting food and playing with makeups. And I also like to use this as like an eyeshadow, so this is what I do. Just creating that more like a 3D effect, you see? So my nose look more defined. You see what I mean? So it's my very first time putting my makeup on, just looking at the camera. So I don't know how I will look in reality. I'm checking there's a mirror. Okay, that's good. So yeah, this is all I'm doing. And that's it. And I like to use a little bit of shimmer to create more of like enhancer. So I bought this in Japan. This color is more like orange cinnamon, has a bit of shimmer. I love the shimmer, so I just dab a little bit here and then put it on the corner of my eyes and dab around like this, and also under my eyes a little bit at the front. So when you look at it in person, it has a very defining effect. The camera is not really showing the effect here. Just dabbing. So I don't use brush, I don't use other tools. I have these beautiful tool called hands and fingers and controlled mobility. So I use that as my tool. And sometimes I don't use mascara anymore, and I never really liked wearing mascara because I wore contacts most of my life ever since I was in high school. So now I just sometimes use this eyelash curler, just like this. And then I don't do anything. I don't put on mascara. And I don't know if you can see. Doesn't really show. And today I like to go for black eyeliner. So this is another Tarte eyeliner that I felt like when I wore it, my eye was less irritated. So this one has both like the pencil liner and this liquid liner. This liquid liner, sometimes when it gets into my eyes or when I wear it, I smell a little bit of like chemical things, and my eye, when I erase it, the makeup, it would hurt my eyes sometimes. So I just use the pencil liner, and then I like to have a little bit of this tip like up right here. You see the difference? It's creating my eyes a little bit like, not like cat's eyes, but like more like round shaped. So that's what I like to do. But it's depending on different eye shapes and how your eye look, you can try. You see, for me it works. When I do that, it creates a whole other look all of a sudden just by putting on eyeliner. So I remember like when I was in high school, I had two friends over at my house for sleepover. So one was Japanese friend, one was Danish friend. She was from Denmark, and I used to love putting makeup. Like, I started to do a little bit of makeup, not like the whole foundation, but start to buy stuff a little bit. Having start to play around with different makeups. Back then it was like this very similar thing. Like, I didn't wear any foundation, but I would use eyeliner at times, or a dab of color. And I would love to, I love putting makeup on people and doing the makeup for them. And so I have them sit down, and then I did everything, like this eyeliner for them, but it didn't work out for them because their skin color is different, their skin texture is different, and also their eye shape is so different. So that's the fun part, right? We are all unique, and it's about finding what works best for you and exploring that journey. So I really like, it was really funny. I try my best. I'm like, let me see, because they cannot see themselves, and then I'm like, okay, let me try this on right here. And then I would dab on more colors here, or just different like things, but I didn't have a lot of makeup equipment or colors at the time. But that's just coming up for me to share, like, it's different. So that's why they say like Asian makeup, or like white person makeup, or however you resonate with these terms. And also I learned that in a lot of the Persian cultures, or like in Marrakesh, they have this eyeliner. I forgot the name of it. It's a natural pigment, and they put it on, and it was supposed to protect their eyes from all this like sand winds and sandstorms and the sun. And they use different pigments from the nature, from certain rocks and stones or flowers, and it's all natural. And their eye shape is different. So I wanted to try that, but I wanted to find the real product, real natural sourced products, not the ones that's kind of imitation, or selling it as natural, or from the Persian, like the liner, but that has other elements to it. So I don't know how that's gonna go. So for now, I'm done. And I enjoy it. So that's the makeup today that I'm going to wear. So in real life, my cheek is a lot redder, more like berry color here. I don't know if you can, yeah, so more like shimmer. So if you see, so yeah. And when I erase my makeup, I use organic extra virgin coconut oil. I use extra virgin coconut oil for everything. I do oil pulling with it. I've been doing that for the last 10 years or more, because I kept having the sinus issues. Even years before the initiation, I was doing that, and it's amazing. It's pulling out all this like stuff, the gunk, whenever you do that. And it also cleans out your gum, which is very important for the crown chakra, the brain, the third eye. This is really important. Whenever you do that, all these things are connected to certain parts of the different neurons in the brain. So that's why chewing is very important. When you chew, it not only breaks it down, it also creates this stimulus that sends out signals to all these neurons in the brain. So when you the more you understand, the more you study how all these meridians, all these things are linked. When you look at the bottom of your feet, like in Asian medicine, this part is representing your adrenal gland, this part is your heart, this part is your lungs. So there's like a pressure point, and also with hands and ears, and it's amazing. Everything is tied. So this is like amazing engineering altogether. I remember seeing this documentary maybe when I was like 18 or something on TV one day. Back then they used to show a lot of this stuff, but over the years not anymore. This man was doing a surgery there was a surgery, brain surgery in China, and I was shocked. They were doing acupuncture to create anesthesia for him. His brain was cracked open, but he was conscious and he was awake while they were proceeding some sort of operation on his brain. And that really shook me at the time, and I understood intuitively the power of this. And also later down the line, I saw in I think it was like in Europe or somewhere, this artist was having a brain surgery, and they didn't want to damage him from playing the music. I think he's like a violinist or something, or she. So they tried this like that anesthesia, and she was conscious and awake, and even was speaking and communicating with the surgeons who were operating. Like they opened up her head, and then they had her play the music, play the violin while the brain was open, the head was cracked open, so that they notice certain neurons in the brain that's connected to the area, so they don't touch it, they don't damage it. So that's how amazing this is. But all this knowledge and wisdom and information had been hidden, because if this was known, all this pharma and the medical industry connected to politics and money and yes, once again that area, right? So we are to call back all this wisdom slowly, one by one. So I just used that coconut oil to wipe it off with I used bamboo tissue, 100% bamboo tissue, because at one point I wasn't, and my spirit team came through to switch to that. So because it's formaldehyde that's in a lot of these tissues and toilet papers, so, and I use natural oils for moisturizer and the facial, everything. So perhaps maybe I'm going to do another get ready with me or get ready for bed or something, I don't know, but show you or introduce you to certain oils that you can also try to incorporate or try out, that is more like a natural, it has a lot of healing effects. So I received this information, like when you all this in temples in Egypt, there's whole other information, wisdom about different kinds of oils that they used, like argan oil, the very different oils like castor oil, jojoba oil, like yeah, all these different oils. And so I learned that coconut oil has sun protection effect. So I've been using that for probably several years instead of putting sunscreen on. And whenever I went to the beach, especially like everywhere in Indonesia, in Thailand, in Greece, I smell this chemical like stuff from all the sunscreen people are putting on. They're like all white. They don't want to get burned. They don't want to get skin cancer. They want to keep their skin white as like a protection mechanism that's kind of brain wired, right? It's creating all these toxins in the water. It's contaminating the water. And as my frequency rose, I'm so sensitive to all those like chemicals and stuff and fragrances. And so yeah, I remember one time that's kind of made a really strong impression. This mother and son came and they were like putting on everywhere. It was all white. The sun was really like kind of 9 or 10, and I could smell it from like, I don't know, from a distance away. So I had to move my spot to another place. And then I was like, oh my God, they're going into the water and it's going to go into the ocean. But that's how it is now. And that's what people will do when we are heavily conditioned and programmed, that we think that it's benefiting us, it's helping us, uplifting us, but in behind there's a lot of chemical that we are putting in. It's hormone disruptor, everything. And once the hormones are disrupted, your liver is damaged. And liver is a very important aspect where it's like the cleaning center for all your body. So they're targeting this, right? Which is like a term called bioweapon. There are many different bioweapons like that, and they termed it weapon because it is like a weapon that we don't see that may harm us, but it is damaging, harming, killing people to an extreme, to a very strong language, if I may use that. So the purpose behind me sharing Get Ready With Me makeup time today is to perhaps provide this different ways that you can play around with but still enjoy these activities, enjoy being human, enjoy this grounding aspect of putting a makeup on a physical level, but in a not so or less damaging way. And in this life, it's very interesting. It's about balance. Sometimes you may want to go for that soy latte once in a moon and still enjoy it, but then you know that you need to detoxify, clean up your liver. So that's where we are. We are in a lot of in-between energies, in a longer, bigger perspective timeline way, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years time, right? We are in between right now. We are living in between times. So welcome aboard. Just like me, we volunteered. We are on board together, right? So how can we do this? How can we enjoy the journey? How can we find happiness in the process more? That's where we are focusing on. So I hope you enjoyed. Can you see the difference? I am satisfied. So you can come up with your own ways, or you may be like inspired with your own different ideas or unique ideas that you want to try. Then I hope you have fun with that journey or exploration as well. And with that, this is all for today, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.